Boom. All right, let's go, Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. Hope y'all are having a mighty fine evening tonight. Anyways, remember, stay hydrated, my friends. So, today's video is just going to be mainly going over my store haul for the week. Been a pretty damn good week, I have to say. So, let's just go right through them. Starting off with, was able to pick up this Chattooga whiskey, the latest bottled and bond, fall of 2018. Yeah, it's a mash bill blend of 4 different ones. I'll go ahead and read them. I don't know what they really mean, other than it's 30% is SB091, 30% B002, 20% B005, and 20% R18098. Lots of license plate numbers combination, but I've always liked the Chattooga whiskey. Most of all their products. Actually, I can't think of any I don't like. But the bottle and bond's always interesting. 2 expressions a year, spring and fall. So this is the latest Chattooga whiskey fall 2018 bottle and bond that just came out. And then, lo and behold, I got this, a Michter's limited release toasted barrel finish. Hell yeah. So let's take a look at that. Literally saw it on the shelf, looked at it, was like, thought it was just, the label was very similar to just your regular sour mash, which I'm not a big fan of, but I took a closer look and went, oh shit, that's toasted barrel finish. Better pick that bad boy up. So sure enough, I did. Alright, so yeah, and all these, probably over the next month or so, we'll be doing a little bit more in-depth cork popping on these, reviews, probably no particular order. And then I was able to pick up, oh hell, Elijah Craig, single barrel, 18 years old, 90 proof, bottled 12/17/21. Heck yeah. What is it? It's got a little tag on here. What does it say? Let's see here. It says, blah, blah, blah. Truly a bourbon for the avid collector. Our 18-year-old Elijah Craig bourbon is bottled solely from the contents of 1 barrel, not the mingling of many. Only a handful of barrels of Kentucky bourbon have been allowed to age so long. Of these limited barrels, our master distillers hand select only those of the highest quality and bottle the contents as an individually numbered single barrel. In 1789, Reverend Elijah Craig, who is credited with being the father of bourbon, became the first to age his whiskey in charred oak barrels. Since then, Elijah Craig 18-year-old single barrel has garnered some of the industry's most prestigious accolades, including Whiskey of the Year and double gold in San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So there you go. Let's take a closer look there. Elijah Craig, single barrel, 18-year-old. And then, what we get? Oh shoot. Remus Repeal Reserve, batch 6, 100 proof. So we'll see. I've already seen some other reviews on this. It's kind of gotten okay reviews. I think most people think it doesn't live up to batch 5, which I still have. And then, honestly, my favorite, because I've had every single one of these, 1 now through 6, my favorite was actually batch 3. And I did think batch 5 was good, so we'll do them. I killed 1 and 2 and 4, but I still have some of the batch 3, batch 5, and then now this new bottle, Remus Repeal batch 6. It's the same thing that's on the other, so I'm not going to read the back of this. We will when we actually do a fresh corking and do it alongside batch 3 and 5 to let you know what Bourbon Steve thinks. But anyways, let's take a closer look at his Remus Repeal Reserve Batch 6. Hell yeah. And then we also picked up a latest Larceny Barrel Proof Batch C922. Comes in at 126.6 proof. So we've got, I don't know, several, all of this year's, I think all of last year's, and maybe a couple from the year before. And I think maybe all of them but one, since we started doing them, we still have. But anyways, Larceny latest batch C922. And then today, what did we get? Oh, that Colonel Taylor single barrel. Hell yeah. You can see right there, but it's a Colonel Taylor single barrel. So anyways, just to show you, I also have one here that's, as you can see, been open and not much left in it there. This is the first Colonel Taylor single barrel I ever got, which man, it's probably a little, man, right at a year, maybe a little less. I picked this up at a Virginia ABC store. They announced they were doing a drop. I got in line, I don't know. I probably got there at 6 a.m. I don't think they opened till 10 a.m. There was like 4 or 5 people in line in front of me. I forget, there was a few other things that you could choose from. I got, based upon where I was in line, I got the last one, this one here. The first Colonel Taylor single barrel I ever got, and it's obviously about gone. I was able to pick up another one that I believe was a store pick one, and then I picked this one up today. So just to show you, there is a bottle in here. So that's the one I picked up today, and then I thought, while kind of sharing this video, we would have a little pour of the first one I've got. So I was really excited because I've been obviously sipping on this, but sparingly, because even though I had one in the bunker, and so obviously been drinking it sparingly. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. But it's so good. I mean, it's sweet, caramel, vanilla, touch of spice, good proof. I mean, it's a solid. Granted, it's the only one I've ever had. Like I said, I did acquire another one that's back over here behind my left shoulder. Obviously, I've been able to get several of the small batches, killed several of the small batches, have yet to kill the single barrel. And like I said, I got one, and then now that I picked this one up, it's a little bit easier to go ahead and probably kill this off before the end of the year, knowing that I have the other one I can open, which I'm pretty sure is a store pick one, and then this one that I was able to pick up today unexpectedly and out of the blue. So hey, it is allocation season. You always got to be on the hunt, to look out, and have your buddies hit you up, because there were several of this one, which was surprisingly to know, like they had multiple cases. No, I won't say exactly how many, but just something that they decided to drop out of the blue. Let a couple of my buddies know about it. They were able to come and get one. So, you know, it's all about having those connections of, you know, because I'm not a greedy. Well, number one, it was one per person, but even so, I'm not greedy. You know, obviously I'm going to pick up the first one for myself, but then, especially if I know there's opportunities for others to pick it up, those that are in my circle or whatever, I'm going to text and let them know, and they do the vice versa for me. So it's always good to be, you know, amidst into your bourbon groups, your bourbon societies in your local area, and so forth, so that you can help each other out. Cheers, Bourbon Quest, because that's what it's all about. It's about community. It's about sharing. The chase, the hunt, the find, the kill, and the enjoyment. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. But it'll be interesting to see when I open up the other one. Well, I'm not going to compare them. I'll just go off memory. But once I do finally finish off the first one there, the single barrel, now that I have another backup, I can go ahead and open the other one and see if it's as good, better, or maybe worse. Obviously, with being a single barrel, you're probably going to get some variances. But one thing I'll say about that is that, and you can go back and look at the videos when I did, I think all three, both the that I have, the different lineups, if you will, the small batch, the single barrel, and the barrel proof. Yeah, if someone asked me today, is the single barrel worth the hype? And my answer is no. It's good. It's better than good. It's very good. But so is the small batch. If you're unable to attain one of the single barrels, I wouldn't fret it too much. I mean, as long as you can get a small batch. Now, the difference being the which I only have one of. I don't even know. It's probably half gone. One of the Colonel Taylor barrel proofs. Now that is worth the hype and the chase because it's freaking phenomenal. But even as phenomenal as it was, I put it in last year's. You can go back and look at that whiskey to compete for Whiskey of the Year, and I believe it finished 4th. It finished 4th. Still phenomenal. Still worth the hype and the chase if you're able to get a E.H. Taylor barrel proof. The single barrel, obviously, I got this for $56. So I got it at MSRP, $56. I think the small batch is like $44. Both of those are great, but the barrel proof Colonel Taylor is phenomenal. I could give two shits about any of their other things, whether it be warehouse C or 18-year-old marriage or door slightly ajar or whatever cockamania thing that they come up with, some of their special releases. But I think the main lineup for Colonel Taylor for me that I care about is the small batch, the single barrel, and then the barrel proof is freaking awesome. But there you have it. So let me know, Bourbon Quest. Leave a comment. Let me know what you've been able to get on your hunt this week or this month. We're in the month of October, so let me know what you've been able to come across in October. Also, what you're still on the hunt for. It's allocation season. That's the only thing is I wish some of this stuff was spread out a little bit because I also came across a couple other things. One being today when I got this single barrel. Also had a chance to get a Michter's barrel strength, single barrel strength rye. But it was it was MSRP. It was $96. But at the end of the day, I had to make a decision. I chose the single barrel over that because I'm not a huge rye guy and had already been over budget for the week. Maybe I'll regret that. Maybe I won't. Another buddy of mine that came to get the single barrel did pick that one up because I said, if I hadn't already spent whatever I spent already this week, I would have picked it up. But sometimes you got to make decisions, and he picked up one, so I'm sure I can get a sample from him. which I'll reach out to him to get that whenever he decides he wants to open it. And he also, earlier this week, the same buddy that got the Paul, so shout out to Paul. Paul did pick up not only the single barrel, he picked up the, which I showed him where it was at, the Michter's barrel proof rye. And but earlier in the week, he also was able to get an Old Forester barrel proof rye, which I think was a one-time release from last year, which I got it last year when it first came out. He was able to pick up one this week, which happy for him. I told him it was great. And so I'll get a sample from him for the Michters, because out of the barrel strength ryes, obviously number one was from, I guess, 2021. Is that right? Or maybe it was 2020. Either way, was the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. Was freaking phenomenal. The Old Forester was just right there at it, maybe a step or two below, but I know Paul's going to enjoy that Old Forester. And then I'd be interested to see, how that Michter's lines up. So if I get a sample from him, I'll probably do a video on that too, because I still have at least half a bottle of both the Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye and the Old Forester barrel proof rye, and I'll just pass on the Michters, but I'll get a 2-ounce pour or something from Paul on that. All right, like I said, hey, if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That does the channel a favor. And then smash that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithms to get it out there to more people. Don't forget, do yourself a favor and ring that bell for notifications. That way you don't miss a damn thing. Just like this bottle haul video that we're doing. This was a hell of a week. The only thing was the lightening of my wallet on attaining these. But I got every single one of these at MSRP, which still isn't cheap. I mean, it's like $160 for the Elijah, $100, 60, 56, 90, and 45.50 on the Chattooga. So you add that all up, it's still a pretty good drop for 1 week. But these are all pretty much allocated to a certain degree. Maybe not the Chattanooga bottle order bond, but I know it's not available everywhere, and I'm a huge Chattanooga fan. I'm rocking the Chattanooga whiskey hat. So, all in all, good week. Budgets being what they are, they're, like I said, I passed on the Michters, I passed on an OKI, and a couple other things that I saw that were, well, I would have bought them anyways, just based upon what I was already spending, but they were also like jacked up at like at least 50% over MSRP. I'm not going to go into detail where those were at or what they were, because it's kind of irrelevant. The bottom line is, I don't mind paying, I've said before, I don't mind paying, 20 to 30%. Maybe up to 50 if it's super allocated, whatever. But anything that's above that, if you're trying to charge me double, if it's $100 MSRP and you're wanting $200, no thanks. Number one, I don't think hardly any of them are worth it. And there's plenty of other great bourbons out there, especially, I mean, sometimes I do things because of the channel, and maybe I use that as an excuse, but I think it is true. I'd probably pass on a little bit. I mean, I still pass on things even with the channel. I'm not just buying everything just because it's out there and available, especially if it's overpriced. I'm just not going to go down that road. But at the same time, I probably buy more things than the normal, even consumer, or what do you call it, whiskey aficionado would. But I guess the bottom line is there's plenty of great things out there. Enjoy the whiskey, enjoy the chase. I know there's FOMO out there, but at the end of the day, I think we need to start curtailing that a little bit. Like, hey, I'm going to pass on this. There's other things that, based upon other reviews or knowledge or sharing, that I would rather have this over that, and that's okay. I mean, and then there's things that we overpay for that are garbage, which that's the real shame, which is part of the reason why, I have the channel and do the reviews, to kind of give you at least my insight on, do I think it's good? Do I think it's a good value? And is it worth your hard-earned money? Because I know I work hard for my money, and I assume that you also work hard for yours. And at the end of the day, we want to enjoy what we buy. And, the whiskey market is what the whiskey market is. But there's an outlier there that has gotten out of control and out of hand, to where stores and stuff are wanting to charge 2, 3, 4 times what MSRP is, and that's just fucking bullshit. That's greedy. If you want to have a point system to reward your loyal customers, no problem with that. But when you're just trying to take advantage of, I don't know if the right word is, a schmuck that's willing to pay it, I think that's disingenuous, and I don't think that makes you a part of the heart of the real whiskey aficionado community. I don't know. That's a little bit of a rant. If you want to hear more rants, go watch Jason C. He had a pretty good one last night that I watched. Cheers, Bourbon Clubs. I will touch on that in just a minute. Ooh, that's so good. But one of Jason's rants that I watched last night was on, which I totally agree with him, was the new announcement about Michter's 20-year. MSRP, $1,200. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. We're not paying, well, I'm not paying that. Jason C's not paying that. I think most of us are not paying that regardless, because there's no way it's worth it. I mean, and during Jason's video, he had a Remus Gatsby that was 15 years old, $200, and he didn't even think that was worth $200. Maybe he thought it was worth the 100, probably tops 150. Don't quote me on that, but he didn't think it was worthy of 200. But you're gonna go 5 years more, and what? Six-tuple it the price from 200 to 12. Crazy. Y'all lost your damn minds. I don't know what the fuck is going on where you think that charging $1,200 for a bottle of whiskey is remotely reasonable and definitely not understandable. I don't understand it. I guess the thing that baffles me, which granted, most of us are not in that situation. Obviously, if you're making multiple $1 million a year, yeah, $1,200 ain't freaking shit. But that's a small percentage of the whiskey community that makes that kind of money. I don't make that kind of money. To where I'm not gonna. Granted, like I said, if you're making $2, $5, $10 million a year, yeah, $1,200 don't mean anything to you, and maybe that's just what they bank on, because number one, they're producing a small amount of it, and there's only a small amount of people that make that kind of money. But even if they make that kind of money, how many of them are, whiskey advocates or enthusiasts or whatever. So you got to factor all that in. But if that's the market you're going for, I guess more power to you. But in my heart of hearts, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's reasonable. But from a business perspective, if that's the market you're targeting, is people that are, extremely high income earners that are also into whiskey. I'm assuming there's a market for that. Just like, you can buy a Rolex or you can buy a Timex. Obviously, Timex is producing volume for the middle to lower class consumer, and Rolex is producing a premium product, however you want to define that. In this case, whiskey being age and scarcity, and obviously Rolex is doing the same thing on price and scarcity. They're offering a premium product, but I guess that's the thing is sometimes is, at least with like watches or something like Rolex, that's a premium product. Timex still tells the same fucking time, but not a premium product available to the masses. Rolex premium product, but if you're buying a Rolex and spending that kind of money, that you're legitimately getting a premium product. I think sometimes in whiskey, it's maybe you are, maybe you're not. Especially when we know I don't care if it's a $1,200 bottle of Michter's 20-year-old. I guarantee you, if you do them blind, there's going to be several bottles that are $200 or less that would win out in a blind. So, and the thing about whiskey is, yeah, you spend $1,200, but are you truly getting a superior product? Maybe, maybe not. And even if you are, is it that big of a difference between a premium, if it is a premium product at $1,200, can you get a similar or better premium product at $200 per se? Anybody with any math skills says, even if they're side by side equally good, $1,200, $200. I'll take the $200 for basically the same enjoyment, the same experience. So, I don't know. Getting kind of crazy. Alright, but I am enjoying this single barrel. Was super excited to be able to pick this one up because this was the last one I picked up this week, and the month of October is when I have everything due, from doing tag renewals to fucking insurance renewals, blah blah blah. It's like, seems like everything hits me in the month of October, but I wasn't going to pass up on that. I have to go work another shift to make up for it, but nonetheless. But hey, and the thing is, like, some of these are kind of happenstance. Like, yeah, I keep a list, especially about what's coming out, what's coming available, with new releases and one-time releases and stuff. So I had on my list. This was in the hunt. The Remus, the Larceny was in the hunt. The Chattooga was in the hunt. So those three were in the hunt. The other ones were not. I was knowledgeable about them. I wasn't really hunting them, but obviously when I came across them, I bought them. So that was the Michter's Toasted. Wasn't hunting for it, but saw it, pounced on it. Elijah Craig. Wasn't hunting it. Really didn't care if I ever got it or not, but the right opportunity came about. So yes, and I pulled the trigger, and then again, even though, because I already had a backup, so I wasn't hunting a replacement for this